That's the Smiths with The Queen Is Dead. Yeah, right, on the phone now. I should have done it. I've embraced you there, Danny.
Hello there, Richard Witter.
Hello there, Danny. How are you, mate? You alright?
I'm very good, how are you?
Good, man. I'm not too bad at all, thank you very much. Thanks for spending a bit of time and out of your busy, hectic schedule to talk to little old me on the radio.
Oh, that's quite alright. It's a pleasure, mate.
What is it you're actually doing today? What have you been doing?
I've just got a new camera, so I'm learning how to film, so I've just been going around London filming loads of stuff.
Right, okay,
I've been working the videos that we do as a band, the trailer, we've done a few trailers, and also the video for Refugees. I had a big hand in working on that with these guys from Sodium, and it's something that I want to get more and more involved in.
Right.
And the next video for the next single, I've written the treatment for that as well, so yeah, I'm gonna be a big part of that as well. It's what I want to really get into is filming videos. So.
You're a clever man, aren't you?
I have my moments, mate.
Well, listen, I watched your new video the other day and thoroughly enjoyed it, but I was a little bit concerned. You know,
why were you concerned?
Well, because on your body there's lots and lots of writing, isn't there?
Yeah, there's these tallies, which is it's basically just it's quite a lot of different things. But I've felt a lot like I've been in limbo for a really long time. Not just in my professional life with the band.
Right.
You know, taking this long to finish this album, which would drive anyone round the bend.
Well, it's been 8 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Just before we move on to that, my concern was it permanent marker pen?
It was, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
So have you still got traces of it on your body?
It took about 3 goes to get it off.
Did it?
With a Brillo pad, yeah.
So, did you get somebody to scrub you, or did you do it yourself?
No, I did it myself.
Right, well, lots and lots of ladies out there would probably have loved to have scrubbed you.
If I did have somebody to scrub it off, I wouldn't. I'm too much of a gentleman to stay on it.
Right, okay. Let's move on. Right, so you are literally back after a break of 8 years.
Yeah,
the question is, why did it take so long?
Well, we sort of don't fool ourselves, or at least we're at our best when we don't fool ourselves, and it's taken us that long to come up with something that we think's good enough.
Right, okay.
Basically, we sort of felt as a band that no one would care about us if we didn't come back with something really strong. So
right.
We just waited until it was, literally the best thing that we've ever done. And I think after all these years and after all these albums that we've made and stuff, it really had to be that good in order for us to still be relevant anymore, and that's all we cared about. So we just really dug deep, and I've been saying for the best part of 5 years that the album's going to be out in a couple of months,
Right.
And it just kept getting better. We kept writing new stuff, scrapping old stuff. You know what that's like.
Well, I was going to say, so how many kind of original ideas that maybe at one point might have been on the album were scrapped? How many kind of...
Oh, man, it must be over 500.
You kidding? That many?
Yeah. I mean, it's not just me and Richard that write songs, you see. Like, the other members of the band do as well, especially Mike.
Right.
And, we literally went through everything that everybody came up with, and we were getting together, like 4 or 5 days a week, and writing stuff in between, and, over 5 years that builds up,
Well, of course it would do, but did you find yourself maybe taking a verse off something that you were going to scrap and adding it to a new song? And
yeah. We one of the songs on the album, a song called "In the End." The chorus to that used to be the end of a song that ended up being a B-side a while ago. We just thought that the end of it was too good, so we kept it back.
Right.
And then there's another song on the album called "At Once." I've had the verse to that for like 15 years or something. Been trying to get a chorus to it all that time, and then we wrote a chorus about 6 months ago. So yeah,
see, it's funny that, isn't it, when you've had something for that long, and it's just not fitted right with something else. But that's the quality of writing, I suppose, because it's there forever, isn't it? Even if it's not heard by anybody, it can be introduced at any point, can't it?
Yeah, but it's really frustrating, and when you've got a really good chorus and you just can't get a verse for it. Ashes was like that. We had the chorus to that for a real until, you know, like 2 or 3 years before he wrote the verse, and that song drove me around the absolute bend, man.
Well, it was worth it in the end, wasn't it? Because it is a lovely piece of music.
You know, the ones, quite often, those are the ones, you know, that are the real big ones, you know, when you get a killer verse mad with a killer chorus, and you know you've really got it, you know.
Yeah, very much so. Right, listen, you did some secret gigs last year, didn't you? How was that?
Well, I don't like to talk too much about them because they're secret, but what I will say is both of them are probably the first and second most memorable day of my life last year.
So how do you actually go about that then? If it is a secret, what I mean, obviously you don't want to say too much.
secretgig.com, and people sort of go on there and then just pick up the trail. Like, we're using the internet a lot more now. Like, when we started doing this, the Facebook and all that weren't really going concerns, and so we've sort of really taken that on board, and that's really taken everything to the next level, you know?
Yes, it does make things easier in that respect, doesn't it?
Well, it makes it more exciting. It sort of raises the bar a little bit.
Yeah.
And also, because we've done so many of them now, we've done like 20 of them now, we're trying to rack our brains to do something that we've not done before, you know, that's really different. And so on the 19th one, we did it in complete darkness. Like, you literally couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
Right,
and the band were waiting on stage when the audience were walked in. Like, literally, they had to be walked in a line.
Right.
Because you'd literally bang your head if you walked in on your own. So they were walked in by assistants and sat down, and the band were already on stage playing when they walked in.
I see, right, okay.
And that was pretty amazing, because we had like a strobe at the beginning, and the strobe was set really slow, so it went off like every few seconds, and then the first like flash, there was no one there, then the second flash, there's about 15 people there, and then the third flash is like 30 people there, and then the flash, and the crowd just got bigger every flash. It was really surreal.
Yeah, I bet that must be really surreal, yeah, but quite warm feeling about that, you know, the fact that suddenly there's just loads of people there, and obviously they knew what they were coming for, so they would have been really excited as well. Yeah,
and then the 20th one, we did, we went to this box ring, and we put visqueen all over the walls, did like a kill room, like Dexter's kill room, and basically we covered everybody in paint. It was really fun.
Were they warned about that first, or did they just get it?
Well, we kitted everybody out in protective clothing, goggles, protective face mask, protective boiler suit. It was amazing, you know. I mean, no one's ever done that indoors really before. They've done it like a little bit with UV or whatever, but we literally like covered the place. It was like a toxic cloud of paint and mist. And all that stuff, you can see all that stuff online. If you just sort of search for Embrace Secret Gig online, you'll find it.
Right, okay, that's what people should do then. Brilliant. And it's funny you mentioned Dexter, because I've just finished watching the whole lot.
Yeah, it ended a bit disappointing, I thought. Well, I like the fourth season when John Lithgow was in it. I thought that was really good. Yeah,
that was a good one. He plays a good baddie, he does, doesn't he? Yeah. Well, I didn't really mind the ending. I do know it's split opinion, the ending of Dexter, because a lot of people were saying it wasn't a great end, but I thought it was alright, to be honest.
It was alright, but just like, after watching Breaking Bad and all that, it sort of raised the bar a bit.
It really did, yeah.
It was a bit disappointing after that.
How mental was Breaking Bad? What a great program that was.
You're not allowed to start me on Breaking Bad. I can talk the face off anyone about Breaking Bad.
Well, it was brilliant. It's one of the best things I've ever seen on the telly. Certainly in that genre of stuff. Right. Well, let's not go too far down that route. I want to know what you remember about the 1990s, Danny.
Oh my God.
Do you remember much?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were just starting out as a band. You know.
Well, your first kind of releases, what year was that? That was like mid-90s, wasn't it? Or like...
It was like 96. Yeah. We did a limited edition 7-inch Good Good People, and then we started releasing the EPs in 97, and then the album came out in 98, so it was sort of like mid to the end, yeah.
It was a good time, wasn't it?
Yeah, man, it was amazing. We were on the front cover of every magazine, and...
Yeah, all right. We had one or two. What I'll never forget, though, and this still humbles me now, I'll never forget playing at the V Festival. I can't remember exactly when it was. It was either the very late 90s or the early noughties. And as well as doing our main gig, we did like an acoustic gig backstage to various sorts. It was like a tent where you could do a little acoustic gig to special people. And when we came out, you were sat there waiting to watch us.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought that was really special, because it kind of flattered me a bit, because we've never really been perceived as a cool band, you know what I mean? Especially by other bands. So, thanks.
Yeah, well, my pleasure.
No, but it was really nice. It was really nice to sit on a stool and sing some songs.
I mean, we were cool, but only for about 6 months, and then we'd terminally uncool after that.
Well, Snap, I think there's very, very similar thing to us.
You know what I mean? I think that's just how it works in England. When you come out, everyone's like, oh, God, these are amazing, and then everyone just gets sick of saying that you're amazing, and it's like they move on to the next thing. I think that's kind of cool in a way.
Yeah.
And it just makes you raise your game, you know. It makes you realise that people just aren't going to care unless we do something that's better than anything we've ever done, you know. So it's good. It's good for the music. I think it's good for the music industry that it works like that.
Yeah, definitely. There's always going to be new bands coming through, but I suppose all you've got to do really is get a solid set of good songs, and you'll always have people who want to hear you play it, you know.
Yeah, it's all about the songs.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Right, your new single "Refugees" is part of a 4-track EP, and it's out on the 17th of February, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
And when does the album drop, man?
We went back to, you know, like I was saying before, in sort of back in 1997 when we released EPs and stuff. And the other extra tracks were just as strong as the lead off track. We've done that again. You know, the songs on this EP are all as good, I think, as the lead off track, and that's you know, that's the bar that we set. My brother, especially Richard, like, he was a real taskmaster. Like, right. He'd be like, no, it's not good enough, and it just drove me into the floor, man. So did you do you and your brother fight a lot, or is it more amicable? We don't really fight, but we do argue, yeah. And it's always just about the music. There's never anything personal. I mean, we get on really well, we really like each other, but we just do see music really differently. Like, he sees it in a really sort of rhythmic way, and I see it in a much more sort of melodic, lyrical way. Right. And we just fight, but then when we're both really happy with what we've got, that's when we know we've got something that's really good, because it sort of ticks all the boxes. Yes, I see. Right, well, that's obviously a good test, isn't it, really? If you two can both sit back and go, yeah, that's it, then you know you're onto a winner, don't you? So this, you say you're doing a 4-track EP, so is it just the single that's going to be on the album, or will the other tracks on the EP be on the album? Yeah, just Refugees is on the album. Right. The songs aren't going to be on the album, no. And the album comes out on the 28th of April, I believe. Yeah. Have you got a title for it yet? It's just going to be called Embrace. Right. We just felt like we've been away for so long. Every title that we came up with just felt really limiting, and also as well, it really feels like we're sort of more ourselves than we've ever been before. Right. Like, this feels more like Embrace than any other record we've made, maybe even since the first one. Right, okay. And it felt right to sort of come back and sort of re-establish ourselves and sort of say, yeah, this is what we're about, this is our sort of statement. I think if anyone said, you know, like, introduce me to your band, if they said I've never heard of you or whatever, what would you play me? I'd probably play Ashes or Good People, and then the whole album, I think. Right. Okay. And, well, you know, because it's just a sort of clearer statement of what we're about than anything else we've ever done, really. Well, there you go. You can't say better than that, can you? Which is why it took so long to do. We got rid of all what we call pussy ballads. Like, right. Just if we wrote a song that was slow and had feeling to it, it had to really rip your heart out. It had to be as good as like Fireworks or Retread or whatever. Otherwise, it didn't make it on there. You know, we would. So there's a lot of that stuff that's gone by the wayside. I might have to release a solo album to get it all out. You know? Richard doesn't let me. Anything that's got any sort of sentimentality about it at all, Richard's like, no. Right. That's not going on the album, it's too soppy. Okay. Well, it sounds ace, and I can't wait to hear it, and even, you know, just, as you say, you're just calling the album Embrace, but what a brilliant word embrace is, you know, it's such a loving word. Yeah, it's really all hearted, you know, it's not... Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what we're about, really. You either love us or you hate us, you know, that's kind of what we've always been like, and I prefer it that way, you know.
Exactly, mate. I think that's very, very similar with us as well. There's so many people who hate us, but then there's a few that quite like us or love us, so yeah, I'll happily deal with that. Right, Danny, let us know, websites, Twitter, etc., how can people find out more?
Yeah, people just go on embrace.co.uk or secretgig.com. Or they can find us on Facebook as well, Embrace on Facebook. And all of the stuff about the band is all on there.
Right.
And there's some secret stuff that you can find, but you don't have to dig too deep. I'm sure you'll be alright.
Right, okay, yeah, well, it's all pretty self-explanatory, really, isn't it? As long as you're following the right things, then you can find out anything you want to know these days about anything and anybody, can't you?
Yeah.
So, Danny, listen, thank you very, very much for your time. I wish you all the best with everything, and
thanks for having us on, Richard. It's been a pleasure, mate. Good luck with your radio show, mate.
Thank you very much, and next time you're local, please get in touch and we will drink beer.
Yeah, definitely.
Good man. Alright, Danny, I'm going to play Refugees now for you, mate, okay? So, we'll enjoy this and you have a nice rest of your evening.
Alright, man, I'll see you.
Cheers, mate. See ya, bye.